Yo, I think I know where Marvel is going with RDJ as Doctor Doom. Let's talk. Now, if we're going to keep it real, let's be honest. RDJ as Doctor Doom makes perfect sense because Doctor Doom and Tony Stark are kind of one and the same. I mean, they're both egotistical, they're both bold, they're both geniuses, they both have a metal suit. Like, there are a lot of similarities. But how did Marvel get to the point where they're like, hey, when we introduce Doom, let's introduce him as Tony Stark? Well, insider Daniel RBK, he said that it looks like Marvel is leaning towards a variant of Tony Stark becoming Doctor Doom, and he did leave it open that there could be another variation of Doom, so we could possibly see two Dooms in the MCU. And I mean, hey, what's better than one? Two. But if we're sticking to RDJ, I had a thought. When I looked at Endgame recently, I thought, man, Thanos not only died once, he died twice. So what happens to the original timeline for the second Thanos that died? Well, if you take that into perspective, that timeline basically didn't have to go through Thanos. So Tony Stark actually didn't have to fight Thanos. And I believe that Thanos was a humbling experience for Tony. It taught him how to not be arrogant, how to not be selfish. And if you don't have that, well, it's still room for Tony to be arrogant and selfish. Now, Cap brought it up before. He said, hey, you're not the one to jump on the wire for the team. And he said, hey, I'll just cut the wire. Well, that makes sense. It goes with Tony's ego. And I thought to myself, why did he actually make that sacrifice? Well, he did it for Morgan. He did it for Pepper. And if Infinity Wars never happened, then Morgan she isn't born. And if the original Avengers never happens, then we don't get Iron Man 3. And it's hard to say that Tony and Pepper actually get together. So those are two things that you take away from Tony that I believe is actually the reason why he made the sacrifice. Now, if you look back on Age of Ultron, for example, you take a look at Ultron himself. He's an aspect of Tony, and you see how egotistical he is. I mean, hey, peace in our time. And well, Ultron himself, he doesn't like Tony, and Vision made it known. He was like, hey, he hates you the most. I mean, it makes sense that part or element is still within Tony. So if you don't have anybody to check his ego, his perception, then yes, he can still be a good guy, but deep down inside, that darkness is still there. And I may be wrong, but logically speaking, I think the variant could actually come from that timeline of Tony just not being humble. And to actually add to that, if you look how tyrants perceive themselves, they perceive themselves as doing something good. When you look at Thanos, right? Thanos thought that he was actually doing something good. Hey, I'm going to kill off half of the universe so that the other half can thrive. They can be grateful. I don't think the idea that Tony himself wouldn't actually apply a similar logic, like ruling with an iron fist, understanding that Doctor Doom simply wanted to rule over Liberia. And I mean, I'm not sure how Liberia will fit into this per se. That's why I left it open in regards to there having the possibility of maybe two Dooms at a specific point in time. But to me, I think Tony could possibly be corrupted by the need and lust for power, understanding that he was practically an arms dealer before with his weapons. You know, it's just, I feel like it's room for thought, you know, and I don't think it's outside of the realm of where Tony could go. He can invest into a situation where it was similar to Age of Ultron, where he was trying to create a better world, create Ultron to basically be the glove of the world. Or in Civil War, when he had the disagreement with Cap on their philosophy, saying, hey, my philosophy is better. And with Tony's ego, I don't think it's outside of his realm to just say, hey, I'm going to go ahead and do it and y'all can thank me later. And well, absolute power corrupts absolutely. So I think that in itself could be how we see Tony possibly become Dr. Doom. But I mean, hey, what do I know? But what do y'all think? Do you think I might be onto something? Do you think I'm like way off? Now I understand it's not the comics. It's not as smooth a transition as we would like it to be. Understanding how movies do vary a little bit. But let me know, do you think I'm on to something, or do you think I'm just off? Let me know down in the comments. My name's Raymundo. This is Raymundo Speaks. Until next time, like the vid, lock in, subscribe, Lego.